What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about my favorite build in Path of Exile. As you guys can see from the gameplay, the build I'm talking about is the Static Strike Shockwave Slayer. The comfiness of the build combined with the cool animations of the shockwaves going off around you make this build really fun to play. I first discovered this build back in Necropolis, which was my first full league that I played. I started halfway through Affliction, and it quickly became my favorite build. My version from last league was a lot worse, did a lot less damage, was a lot less tanky, but thanks to a few changes, mainly the Svalin shield, it has become a lot more tanky, does a lot more damage, and I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now. I don't know, I haven't tried any Ubers with it or anything like that, but if you're looking for something that farms really quickly and is a great mapper, then this might be the build for you. Especially with a lot of the leagues still left to go, this could be a fun build to pour some currency into. When I first discovered the build, I remember looking online, and I think Palstron was one of the main videos that I saw on it. I'm not sure who came up with the build or invented it, but Palstron's video was really good to get me going. I did discover this build from Cute Dog, so shout out to him. He played it during Necropolis as a very fast mapper while doing strong boxes, and his was an original sin version, which mine is not. I can't afford that this league thanks to the Molten Strike of Zenith guys. It is very expensive this league to get an original sin. I think it's sitting around a mirror right now, so don't really have that type of currency yet, but the 200 divines ish I put in to this build have made it feel really good. I had so much fun with the build last league, I knew I wanted to play it again, so I headed over to PoE Ninja and started looking through what are the similar builds on there, how are people building Static Strike Shockwave this league, and I was happy to see that Svalin, or Svalin, however you say it, was in a lot of the builds, and compared to last league, this build is infinitely tankier thanks to this. Having that block chance, having the little bit of ward, and the block chance be lucky is huge for this build, and really helped me get up the tankiness a lot. Last league, I was pretty squishy, I'll admit, and being able to actually do some hard maps and do some juice stuff with this build has been great. I was doing the Titanic farm with the build, and besides the final boss, it really didn't struggle too much. Doing the Glacier T16 8 mod, 5 Scarabs, Titanic farm, it felt pretty good. Yeah, the boss could one-shot you if you got jumped on. That's the only thing. If you don't block and the boss jumps on you, you can get one shot. This is the build I used to farm up a lot of my Graviciuses that I was doing for my Grav strat that I talked about in my favorite farm video of the league, and it's just felt amazing. After narrowing down my search on PoE Ninja, I did manage to find a build that I thought looked pretty good, and I copied for the most part. And I don't see that guy's character up there anymore, but shout out to settlers_Jun. If you were the person that made that character, then I copied a bunch of your stuff and the build feels really good, so thank you. I think he was only level 92 at the time, so I did end up kind of finishing out the tree and adding little points where I kind of thought they would make it, and there's a couple jewels that I'm using that he wasn't. But besides that, it's pretty similar to what they have. Nice part about this build is it's a lot of uniques, so you can get them, but unfortunately, again, thanks to the Molten Strike guys, replica Alberons are pretty expensive. They are sitting around, yeah, 13 divine for a high rolled one. Definitely, if you're playing Strength Stacker, which this is a Strength Stacking Static Strike Shockwave, you're definitely going to want to find ones with at least 18%. I guess the armor doesn't really matter if you're willing to sacrifice on that. So, it looks like you can get an 18 one for 12 divine, 12, 13 divine. Those will set you back. The chest piece with the +2 to socketed AoE gems. Let's see if there's one with strength. That's gone up a bit in price. I think I got mine for like 28 divines or something like that. So it looks like there is one there, but I'm honestly shocked that there's not more available. Molten Strike of Zenith might be an AoE gem. It probably is. That's probably why they're, you know, not as many available anymore. Getting a reservation helmet again, 10 divine, not bad. I don't know if that person's like underselling it or not, or what's going on there, but depending on the deal you get, you know, not too bad. These aren't too bad either. You just pick up a synthesized increased strength. Make sure you get one that's maxed out. Looks like you can get one for 5 divine, and then I just spammed essences. Just spammed strength essence until I got T1 life and all attributes. And I lucked out and also got a global crit multi, which is nice. Same thing for the ring. I picked up a synthesized strength implicit ring. 6% is the max. You want to get that. And then on the amulet, it was 15. We'll look for those. And then with the quality, with the attribute quality, it boosts it up. Again, spamming essence for strength, and then settled with T1 max life, T1 chaos resist, which is what I needed. Svalin, you know, 4 or 5 divine, not too bad. The main purchase of this build is obviously the Mage Blood, but at this point in the league, if you're someone that's, you know, looking for a build to play, you probably already have a Mage Blood, I'm assuming. These are pretty cheap. Replica Frost Breath, you know, 2-3 divine for one that's max chaos damage. The flask I just bought, you know, not too much, 3 divine, whatever. Get what you need on the flasks. I've got, you know, additional elemental resistances. It is crazy how much one flask can do for your LE resistances. I think this is sitting at about, what, 54 times 2. It's like 103% to all res from just one flask, which is just amazing. We're using Progenesis just for that little bit of extra tankiness. If I'm just doing my Gravicius farm and I don't need the tankiness, then I usually will swap it out for an Oriath's End flask, just to get those extra pops and the better ad clear. The passive tree is utilizing the split personality jewels, so we're taking the long way around to get there. We got a couple of the strength stacking spell damage clusters. Again, thank you Molten Strike of Zenith, making these expensive. But you should be able to pick some up for, look, just strength and max life. Let's see. Alright, they're a little expensive. They're a little expensive. I think the jewels is where a majority of the money that I spent came. But yeah, right there. You pick up a couple of these, or, you know, between 10, 20 divine-ish per jewel. And you only need 2. This Megalomaniac, I wasn't able to get the Megalomaniac that he had exactly. I am missing. Determination has increased mana reservation efficiency. That is, you really need that. Otherwise, you're going to be over reserved. The melee hits with maces fortify for 6 seconds. That's another huge one. You need that. But this third one is actually not one that I did. I just took it because it had a chance to block spell damage. In the build that the guy was using, there wasn't any available online or offline. He had a notable that was, I think 15% chance for enemies to explode for 10% of their max life. And having that little extra, you know, it would be nice. Basically an Oriath's End flask as a notable on your Megalomaniac, but if you can't find that, getting these two is really all you need. The Determination has increased mana reservation, efficiency, and the melee hits with Mace's Fortify. And you get extra damage too. I did alter the build a bit. I threw in a Thread of Hope. These are decently expensive. Oh, they've come down a lot. Alright, they've come down a lot, which is nice. Only 4 to 5 divine now. I think they were like 14 or 15 divine when I bought one. And we are taking the minimum frenzy and chance to get a frenzy charge on kill, and the increased damage per charge, as well as the increased damage per endurance charge, and the minimum endurance charges, and the chance to get an endurance charge. Just so I have the, I didn't have the you know, chance to gain a charge. You could possibly path up here and get them here, but I don't know, it just felt not very good. I think this is probably the most efficient way to do it, but it's also my 3rd league, so everything is a learning process with this game, which is another reason I love it so much. We also took this notable, which gives us the increased recovery per second from Life Leech. You know, Corrupted Blood, a little bit of strength, and increased max life. We've got a Forbidden Flame Jewel with Overwhelm. You're getting more base critical strike chance, increased crit strike multi per enemy nearby, just to give you that little added damage. It was what he was using, so I decided to just copy that. Last of the jewels is the Emperor's Might. That's going to be one of the pricier jewels. Looking at about 20 divine for a max rolled one. If it's significantly cheaper to buy a 4, like what's a 4 passive one? If it's significantly cheaper, okay, it's not that much cheaper. I mean, you could buy one for 14 and then put 3 divines into it, and you'd save yourself 3 divines, and then possibly... I mean, it's likely that you'd hit, right? It's only 4 to 6, so it's likely that you hit. But it's up to you guys, whether you buy one just straight up as it is, or you try and roll one. You could save yourself a couple divine there. But man, I just am loving this build so much. The gloves, oh, I forgot to go over the gloves. For the gloves, pretty basic. You will have to pick some of these up from the guys farming Alva temples, because you do need the increased damage with hits against chilled enemies. Does give you a lot of bonus damage, as well as keeping an open prefix so that you can get increased damage while leeching. These gloves are pretty good. I'm very happy with them. I haven't Orb of Conflict them yet, trying to get, you know, the elevated implicits. You know, you can go from target 1 additional enemy to target 2 additional enemies, and you can go to 4% increased damage per 100 strength from 3, which in the long run is a lot of extra damage. So definitely places to improve on the build still. By no means is a lot of my gear perfect. It is good enough to have a very comfy build. I love the detonations. The MTX that I use is on Shockwave, in case you're wondering. It is the Apollyon Shockwave effect. Changes the sound and the visuals of the shockwaves and makes them look super cool. As you can see from the gameplay that I had, I did have a non-MTX gameplay part, and it does look a lot more basic. It still gets the job done. It's still, you know, very strong, very comfy, but I think using this MTX just makes it a little bit more satisfying to play. They usually put effects like this. They usually have a skill effect sale, you know, once every few weeks. Definitely wait till it comes back around. If you're thinking about playing this build, you could probably pick it up on sale. Let me know if you guys have played this build, what you think about it, or if you guys have a favorite build of the league, let me know that too. I always love hearing about what you guys are playing. If you're looking for a fun, comfy map blaster to run for the rest of the league, I'd highly recommend playing this. You know, give it a try. I think Auto Bomber is one of my favorite playstyles. It is very lazy, and you know, it's not something I'd want to play for an entire league, but having it to blast, you know, when you've got a specific farm in mind and you just want to blow through a bunch of maps, it makes it very comfy to play. So highly recommend it, and thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.